Hi there, this is Matt with State of Flex here with a review for Mean Girls, 2024's Mean Girls, that is, the not advertised musical version of the feature film Mean Girls from 20 years ago. When the movie first came out to relatively tepid reviews, I thought it was mainly down to the fact that it was not advertised as being a musical while being a full-blown musical. But while watching the film, I realized that that is not the case. The true reason why this movie is not nearly even in the same league as that original film comes right down to the fact that it is straight up fugly. It is a poorly shot musical. A musical should have a visual language to it to really show off its musical numbers, to give vibrancy to the actors performing in front of the screen, in front of that camera, and the film really never is able to showcase that. There is choreographed numbers, but the camera is panning away from it. Nothing is exemplary of this more than the fact when the camera is on Moana. I can't think of her name right now because I'm an a-hole, but she is right on the camera. The camera is singing during her big musical number at the end, which really should be Katie's moment, but isn't. Instead, the camera is focusing on her and takes away the best visual joke from that first movie when Regina George gets hit by the bus, which happens in the distance behind, and if you're not knowing that that's going to happen, you're not going to see that it happens, killing the joke and also the moral messaging in the movie. The film also loses Katie's internal perspective. Her narration is what guides that first movie, and so much of the character and growth that her character, and really all of the characters have, is told through that narration. Now, I had expected that you would pivot that to musical numbers. A musical offers something that no other genre can, which is having characters explain out loud their internal feelings. That is what music is. It is an externalization of their internal thoughts and feelings, read out loud in full emotional glory. That is completely absent from this. Now, you have fine actors in front of the screen. I think everybody does at worst a serviceable job, and at best you have Rapp, who completely owns and commands every scene that she is in. Everybody is fine, if not good, in the film, but the camera straight up kills it. The fact that this has no cinematic qualities is really biting for this film, and that is the film's biggest flaw. That, coupled with the fact that people, especially my age, have extreme reverence for that older film that is now 20 years old, that nothing could really reclaim that reverence. At best, you're going to get just a reworking of the movie that you've already got. And as it is, that's kind of what this is. It's just a reworking. It's pivoting towards music, but you do that in sacrifice of character, and none of the songs really land as well as they probably should. You have a powerhouse performance from Rapp, who I think this can be her film transition piece exceptionally well, because she owns every moment that she's in. But it's the camera work that really stills everything. And you could make the argument that this was never designed to be made on the big screen. This was planned to be a Paramount Plus exclusive at-home viewing that they decided to drop in theaters. Probably because they saw Rapp's performance and thought that this is something elevated, something more, and it proved lucrative for them. They made $70-some-odd million by doing that. However, even as a film watched at home, which is how I watched this film, I could sit there and say that this is a terribly shot film. It's not capturing any of the choreography. It's doing nothing dynamic to send up or inflate the actors in front of the camera who are doing lively numbers. it falls flat. There you have, that's my thoughts on Mean Girls. It's not bad, it's okay. I'd give it 2.5 stars, it's fine. But if you're going to watch Mean Girls, watch Mean Girls 2004. The 2024 one it's here and you have it, but I have a feeling it's not going to be clicked on nearly as much as that old title. And if you were to watch this as a stage play, which is what it's based on, the experience of seeing the play and the performers doing everything live is its own sense of magic. I've recently had this discussion before about the pivot from animated to live action. Disney keeps remaking live action versions of their classic animated library. But I think, like, post 1995 really, when you have had a digital landscape with which to make film and manipulate everything that you are able to film, the medium that something comes out in initially is probably the medium it's best designed for. So, looking at this film in terms of that perspective, this was designed to be a Broadway musical. And for a Broadway musical, it is probably, having not seen it, a really good time, a good experience. You're getting to see these numbers that have a wide open stage with which to create movement and choreography that everybody can look at without having a camera get in the way. Here, you have a neat musical number set in the halls of a classroom, but being that it's not on a stage, it's done in an actual school, there isn't much movement, and the camera is so big to capture this tracking shot, you cannot capture any of the choreography. It's probably best suited to remain just that, a Broadway musical. Especially since we already have a feature film of this. That's just my 2 cents. I don't think it's impossible to do something like this. The Color Purple came out 1 month prior to this, and I think they captured the Broadway musical way better than this film did. But they also had a lot of exterior shots and, you know, a cameraman that knew how to work the camera and capture the beauty of both the landscape around and the choreography and movement in front of. But that's just my 2 cents. What do you think of Mean Girls? Let me know in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Peace.